Mom always said life was like a box of chocolates.
Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
It is the Al Travis Show, and I love having this guy on. I laugh till I get on. He's Paul, Minnesota sports lifer. He's been my buddy for years. Folks don't have to know what you do exactly, but you write for a living. You do this, right?
Technically, yes. I'm in communications, yes.
Okay. So I asked Paul, okay, we're ready to be on tomorrow, and he sends me this text of things we're going to talk about. Twins Cup in Florida, NBA Finals dash, young stars give notice. I'm like, okay, what's the Twins Cup in Florida? And I'm thinking, I know a lot about sports. I follow along. I don't know what the Twins Cup, and I'm kind of thinking down in my head, is that like a AAA thing? And maybe I don't know. So I type in Twins Cup. And it shows up, Suzuki wins both Twins Cups at Brainerd International. Like, that's got to be what he's talking about. I have no clue you're into Suzuki's.
Wow.
Or
No. Yeah.
Then tell me what you told me.
Oh,
when
man.
Twins.
Well, good for you for just like Googling it instead of replying and asking. So this is just the latest example of how texting is not the best communication vehicle. And part of it is, let's be honest, I'm not going to defend myself. I get it. Okay, I could have spent more time to clarify for you what I meant. You go ahead.
Twins, comma, we'll talk to it, comma, the Cup in Florida, hockey, then it got there, and then the NBA Finals. I got all the rest.
Yeah.
One comma, and I'm not wasting my time looking up the Twins Cup and wondering why my buddy Paul, I've known forever, is now into motorcycle racing. I had no clue.
No, that would shock you if I were. I'm not a NASCAR guy. I'm not a motorsports guy. I can barely keep my own car running. So
well, then I get talking. Well, maybe because it was in Brainerd, it's in Minnesota. Paul decided, I'm looking up the Minnesota sport. I was doing all I could to figure out why in the world we're talking motorcycle racing in Brainerd. So thank you for the comment.
You found a local angle that could have been a topic today. But good for you.
I do the best.
I will tell you the cell phones, texting on cell phones, they don't make it easy for you to actually write. My thumbs get tired, and I don't want to pause my typing and go to the other menu to get a comma.
Yeah,
or a dash.
I get you.
So that is my own laziness is really at fault. So I apologize for that.
I get
Kawasaki search.
We can talk a little bit about, but we're hanging in the hospital quite a lot this week and sending mucho texts out. And my kid sees me, and I'm sending a text about something was going on with Dad. He goes, "Good God, I have to have the font a little larger than your normal doc because I don't necessarily always have my reading glasses along with me. So the words, if they're longer than a couple of syllables, are flopping down to the next line. But when you send it, it makes sense." I was being made fun of quite regularly. I don't like texting at all. It's too hard. Like you say, oh, then I got the comma over there, but do I really care enough to put it in? And get rid of the happy faces, the weird face crap. I don't ever use them.
It's called emojis.
So there's happy emoji, there's sad emoji, and there's mad emoji. After that, I have to study the faces, and then you put the little thing on it to have you tell you what the face means. It's too complicated, Paul. It's just give me the thumbs up guy.
Keep it simple, and I get it. And they've got the little microphone where you can speak to it, and it'll try to interpret your talk, but you can't always talk out loud, right? And that's the problem. You're in a hospital, you can't be. Oh, he's doing excellent.
My dad is on the last one. That's a good point, Paul. They're just things you don't do. By the way, just for folks, personal note here. Thank you, Paulie. You have been an absolute superstar in my life all the way through this run with my dad, and I appreciate you being there. And you were the day you passed, and the next day, and you're fantastic. We'll joke a little bit about that whole what you say or not when you're in a room with a guy who's comatose. Guy weekend we will discuss because it was. It's strange. And then I evidently, maybe you don't know this because we're relatively new. Sometimes I don't have the filter that my wife wishes I had, and especially when my one feeling of maybe sad is overtaking me, I tend to lose filters, evidently, and it's not good.
Well, on the other hand, that you're authentic, and there are times when the real
That
Al
works.
just comes out, and
No one likes him. No one
no,
likes the real Al. Nobody.
Well, yeah, no, there's a whole. This is a therapy session at this point. I mean, there's a lot to dive into there, but you've been through the ringer, man, and so you know how I feel about you and your dad, and it's tough. We all have great memories of growing up and visiting you guys. Your dad was always welcoming for us. So.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say thank you because you have been a heck of a friend through it all. But beyond that, let's talk some Twins, we had a good game yesterday. I mean, a big win, 12-5. But Paul, since last
week, yeah.
Oh yeah, we ended up losing the first two, 6-5, 4-2. That was rain shortened, but anyway, then lost the 3 to Houston. This team was on a skid. A good yesterday. Does that pull us out of it? Are we saying now we're back?
No, I don't think so. Also, the 6-game losing streak, it wasn't. It was bad, but there were a couple walk-offs in there too, and it's like, okay, you're right in it. Your closer blows it, or your closer allows them to tie it, losing to 10. And that's going to happen over a long season. So but
we're just in a terrible slot. Toronto, Texas, Houston, Cincinnati, Milwaukee, Seattle, and Detroit. There's just no days off. There's no days of slugging through one good team after the next.
No, you've got to reach down and find your own momentum here, and it's a tough stretch of games against good teams, and I don't know. There's something about Houston that seems to have our number lately. So you get swept by them. But you can't win the division or win a wild card here, but you can lose it. So keep treading water. Don't go. You just had a 6-game losing streak. Got to bounce back on a few wins now, and keep keep it at the 500 for a little while until you get some guys healthy. Like you're navigating a lot with Pablo being out for a good chunk of time here, and we need the starters to step in here and eat up 5-6 innings. You really do. Bullpen's not bad, but they can get overworked. And when you lose your starter after 3 innings, that messes up 4 or 5 games in a row because you've tapped your bullpen so hard. So it's all connected.
You're my baseball guy. How often is it? I guess I'm just looking at the schedule. From Tuesday the 17th, the Twins do not get a day off until it looks like June 30th. How often in a middle of a hot summer, and talk about hot, we'll talk about the game this weekend, how often do you play, it looks to me, 14 days straight without a day off? Is that normal?
That seems to be on the longer end of things. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, normally you get, every other week you'd have a Monday or a Thursday off. But you're right. It's a long stretch. I think you're going to see, a shuttle between St. Paul and Target Field. You're going to have some guys being called up for, spelling, little, injury, things here and there. It's a long stretch. It's not unheard of, but
Well, the thing in the story today with Buxton, a big story about, it's Buxton all that, and Buxton is all that, by the way, but I did not realize that he last year he played the most games he'd played since 2017. I think 102 games or something crazy. And I'm like, my God. So then they also mentioned that he generally doesn't play a night game and then an afternoon game. They make him sound like he's 85, like he was Joe Biden falling over a sand thing on the stage or something. He's Joe Buxton. He's in fantastic shape. Do you play? But my question to you, Paul, today at Milwaukee, 7:00, Saturday is a 1 and Sunday's a 1. Every day with the heat index being a hondo, do you throw them out there? You can burn people up in this kind of stuff.
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Well, thank you.
Think maybe you give him the Saturday off, so that you've got him fresh for the Sunday one. But he can trip like any president. Trump has tripped as well. No.
My point is when they talk about him never making it, it sounds like an 80-year-old guy that can't walk. him
Yeah.
tripping on a sandbag. Everybody trips. But that was my point. It's like, he's not 80. What is he, 30 years old in the prime of his life? Looks like Adonis. Really? Well, he never plays a night game and then a day game.
Well, and I think they're trying to get him past that 102 game mark, right? I mean, they already lost him for 10 days of concussion because of the crash with Correa. It's that it's a different it's load management, right? NBA does it all the time.
Well, no, and I get
like
that.
it, but
who was the Iron Man? Never are we going to see that again, are we?
oh no, Gehrig and then Ripken, no.
Yeah. Because they don't even, it feels like my back is tense. Sit down for 3 days, superstar. I don't think we're ever going to see a Cal Ripken again.
Oh no, that record's not gonna be broken. Period. The end. It's not. It's not. It's they managed it differently, and those guys were playing when they probably shouldn't have to keep that streak going.
Near the end, there were some games. It's like, really, you're in, but he'd get in. No, they fudzed that a little bit. But the difference in how we treat all these players, the basketball's the same. I give Ant credit. Ant says, I want to play every game I can play. These people came and paid me money, so I make gazillions of dollars. I should be playing. I like his mentality on that. Baseball players, maybe because it's not quite as intimate a thing, are more than willing to take those days off. Why do they not do that? It's 162 games, too, by the way.
It's a long season. And I don't know. I like that attitude, and he's right. People are paying good money to see these players, and unless you're really, really injured, then just tough it out. It's tough. All these sports are tough, and there's a lot of element of body sacrifice in all of it.
Yeah. I'm very interested to see how these next 3 games go. When it's 100 degrees, do you let your pitcher go as long? I mean, I presume, this will be interesting for me to watch for another reason. I just think the heat alone.
Oh, absolutely. This will be interesting. And there, you know how it is too. And when it's warm, actually you feel better. You warm up quickly. Your muscles are loose. You can go a ways, and then it's a matter of just hydrating, because you're going to lose a lot of fluid, when it's this hot. So, it's an important stretch for the Twins to not fall out of contention right now.
And I really got to go to break because we're way away, but I want to hit this up. If we don't hit the NBA Finals, or one of these we won't. We run the risk of Milwaukee fans outnumbering Twins fans, my opinion. 100-degree Saturday heat. Our Twins are now 1 for 7. We're not exactly on a roll. Your thoughts? Could Milwaukee end up flooding the zone?
Yep. Milwaukee fans, they travel well.
Yeah.
And there's not a lot to get super fired up about on the Twins side of the fence. So I think that could happen. And interesting. Blue Jay fans have typically this is one of the cities that they come to a lot. It's a border state. Yeah. This past year that they didn't have that. It's the tension between Canada and the U.S. and there were fewer Toronto fans who came down here. That's impacting our economy here. Because we didn't have nearly the out-of-town visitors that we did in the past.
I am so late. We'll be back after this talk little NBA. I got him, Paul, Minnesota sports lifer and good buddy on the program.
There are many ways to explore Alexandria. Some like to experience the outdoors and all the fun winter in Minnesota can provide. Pick your favorite way to get in touch with nature. Others like to explore downtown in the warm comfort of a boutique or gathered around a table with friends. You can do all of that or relax and do nothing at all. Come explore Alexandria. Start planning at explorealex.com.
Dust from livestock buildings can be harmful to your animals and to you. Coughing animals can lead to costly vet visits and other serious health problems. Now there's an environmentally safe solution for your dust problems. It's called DustLock. DustLock can control the dust all summer long with just one application. Protect your animals and your health with DustLock. Learn more at dustlock.com.
amongst friends. The Al Travis Show. Nothing but talk.
And we've got Minnesota Sports Lifer Paulie. You mentioned wanting to talk a little bit about the Cup in Florida. Let's just throw it out here, Paul.
Quick. Yeah,
I didn't like either team. I didn't want either one to win. I'm not for the Canadians up there. Didn't want them to have it. I didn't need Florida to win it twice. I had no want here. If there's a way to call it, did you really?
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Canada hasn't won a cup since the 90s. They love the sport. They own hockey. They live and breathe it. Did you see the attendance of the Edmonton fans outside the arena?
Okay.
They had more people outside
Just because they have no lives does not mean they get the sympathy vote. You always go the sympathy vote. I should have.
Wait a minute. Why are you hating on Canada here? This is weird.
Okay, because if they wouldn't exist if America wasn't here to save them at every opportunity. Okay, we're here for them. No, I'm done with Canada.
I disagree so hard. My goodness.
We weren't going to talk about it. Now we're going to get political.
No. Well, Florida, there's a lot wrong with Florida, and including.
Yeah, agreed.
Why do they have the Stanley Cup now twice in a row? And the state of hockey has never had a cup. And Canada, who lives and breathes hockey, didn't get a cup. They got close 2 in a row and couldn't win it. I really wanted Edmonton to win that.
See, it doesn't work for me because I was going to tell you I don't like their Canadian teams in America's game, the baseball. I don't like Canadian teams in this. I don't like it. I don't like it at all. And like you say, hockey's kind of a Canadian sport, and we kind of took it over. I don't know. It's America's sport. Let's make it American. Stop playing football games over in England. I just want ours to have nice things.
Why does America have any hockey teams at all? This is not our sport.
Well, that's why it ruins. It ruins my. I get it. That's the exception to the rule, Paul. I get it. I know I'm talking out of both sides of my butt here, but I don't want Canadians to win, and Florida shouldn't even have a hockey team. I don't want to go. Well, Vegas can because sometimes you go down and have fun, and then you go see a hockey game. They can have one. Florida can't. I know, Paul. I've been rambling for 5 days.
Wow.
I know none of that made sense. Now, get to real sports. NBA. I'm so tired. I am so tired of being wrong. Does Indiana not know they're supposed to lose? Do they not understand?
I know. It's crazy. And I ate every minute of that up when I didn't watch the whole game, but so here's the thing. Here's my take. You've got other NBA experts on this. You have Connor. You have guys at end of the benches and say, Let me ask you this.
Good.
Oklahoma City is the more talented team. They won 60 some games for a reason. They are the most
in a harder division. Yes. In
a harder division. But you got to give it up to the Pacers' grit. I don't think OKC has the level of grit. I mean, you need a level of grit to play any of these games at that level in the NBA Finals. I get it. But the grit Indiana shows about, not in our house, you're going to beat you by, 17, had a lead by 30 for a while. This ain't over. And now
it's a crapshoot.
It's a crapshoot.
If I had $100, I'd put 50-50 on each because that way I could win somehow. I'm not picking on this game. It is a crapshoot. Again, back to Indiana doesn't know they're supposed to lose. They don't, for whatever, I don't know if the coach has got them in like a little hiding place where they don't get to see the news. There is an ESPN guy on television saying, it's Oklahoma City's. They just don't know any better. Oh, well, if Halliburton hurt, he'll never do it. Did Halliburton even know he was hurt yesterday? These people.
He looked very good and you wouldn't have guessed he had a calf injury. Also, I think they changed the minutes around a little bit. Who was that little short point guard dude who came around and he got to just off the lane for a stop and pop and made like 6 of them.
Oh, yeah. He scored like 60. Came out off the bench.
I don't know if I've seen him on the court that often, but it's like, the bench started showing up for Indiana. It's like, I got you, little 6'1" guy, same height as me. And he's shooting over a Holmgren. It's like, what?
Yeah. They came jacked up. To be honest, I do not know what's going to happen Monday. You want to throw our Sunday night? Do you want to throw your pick who wins the NBA final?
Well,
20 seconds.
This is the classic, it's OKC at home. My head says it'll be OKC. It might be a rout. They're the the most talented team, but I wouldn't put money on it. And my heart is with with Indiana.
We already established you're the underdog guy,
but Indiana, but this team I like a lot. I really
fair enough. We got to go. We're out of time. Minnesota Sports Lifer Paul. I appreciate you, my friend.